9 doubles, 3 triples, 2 home runs, and 19 batted in. He's also walked 18 times as well, and a first pitch from Dunning missed high. 1 ball and no strikes. One of 4 left-handed batters in this Florida State starting lineup today under Lonnie Alameda. 1-0 is slapped foul back behind the plate, so 1 ball and 1 strike.
Command for Dunning's going to be key, especially this first time through the order. First couple of innings, just making sure she figures out where the home plate umpire is calling balls and strikes, where she wants to go. She's done a really good job mixing northwest, east, south all season long.
Have to feel like early on in this game is going to be important to sort of reestablishing some confidence. 2 balls and 1 strike.
I think Amy Cavell-Hogg knew that this would be kind of the rough stretch for Boston College, knowing that teams would start game planning for Abby Dunning, seeing more tape, seeing what she's been able to do, and as hitters, they've been able to adjust, especially in the last couple of series.
Mudge takes too far out. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Couple of time All-ACC All-Star in Mudge, and that is indeed just off the outside corner. And that is fouled back again. Ever since her first season in 2020, since that point, Mudge has been a consistent 330-plus hitter. Last couple of years, more like a 350 hitter. 3 balls, 2 strikes. His first at-bat of the game. And Mudge takes somewhere. Maybe a little bit up, if anything, so a leadoff walk.
Yeah, that had good break to it. Take a look here. It stays on the inside part, but as you said, just crosses above the letters of Mudge, and she makes that strike zone a little smaller as she gets down.
So pretty close pitch there, just a little bit too far up, and here is Beecham. Third baseman for Florida State, who takes strike 1. Fastball on the inner half. What a year it has been for Beecham. 43 games played. You see that 447 batting average, OPS over 1,200. 59 hits this year, 9 of them doubles, 10 home runs, 47 batted in. Also has walked 20 times. Off the end of the bat to third. Gyrie gets to second in time, just ahead of Mudge. 5-4. And 1 away.
That's a smart decision here for Nicole Gyrie. She realizes it's not coming with enough speed. Has to go quickly to the bag. Good release, but not enough on there to get the 2 as Jackson was covering second. You get the leadoff runner, it kind of eases the nerves a little bit.
So now here is Kaylee Harding, the DP, who takes strike 1. So Dunning went fastball first pitch to Beecham, and now goes off speed on the first pitch to Harding. Every single one of these Seminoles that are going to trot out, you see where their batting average is. I mean, it's basically everyone in the starting lineup is hitting at least 284. 7 of the 9 are hitting over 300, and it's not like they're close to 300, right? 7 of the 9 hitting above 337 in the starting order today. This is the season averages, as we mentioned, they're top 10 in all 4 of these categories in the country.
And it's just the production. They're getting more runs on the board, which helps the pitchers in the circle, especially in some of those shootout games where you're going to get a lot of runs in a game.
0-2 missed outside, so 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Felt like earlier in the season they were losing those shootout games. I mean, you remember that 20-10 game earlier this year. It just felt like they weren't getting enough firepower. And now that they're in conference play, they've finally got the bats hotter. They're seeing pitches better, and a lot of extra base hits for Florida State.
1-2. Hit hard but foul. So one thing you are seeing with this Florida State team, even on good pitches, a lot of contact, right? They don't swing and miss very often.
Make pitchers work. They foul off a lot of pitchers. They're really good at the eyes, and you got to credit Lonnie Alameda and what she's been able to do and just helping coach these young players transition from club or high school and seeing these pitchers. You know, part of it's the non-conference scheduling as well, seeing those really good teams.
1-2 to center. Laviolette got a good jump. And that's out number 2. Beecham back to first base, 2 away for Isa Torres. Now their first year has been very productive with a .389 batting average, and this is their 43rd start of the season. That is fouled back to the screen. 12 doubles ties Harding for the team lead. 5 home runs as well, slugging .595 for the first year from Texas.
Yeah, 3-time all-district player out of high school, was a phenomenal recruit, was top 9 out of extra inning softball in the 2023 class.
Went to the off-speed pitch, missed down. So 1 ball and 1 strike on Torres.
Talking about the hitters for Florida State, it just feels like they lay off of those high pitches, those high rise balls, and those dirt pitches. Those aren't the pitches that they're swinging at.
Back to the hard stuff and outside again. When you're talking about these freshmen in Beecham and Torres specifically, Kennedy Harp as well, that jumps out. It's a Florida State team that it kind of feels like it's almost mixed. On the one hand, they returned 6 of their top 7 hitters from last year's team that once again got to the Women's College World Series, and they were the runner-ups last year. But then on the other hand, they've added in some really key freshman pieces. Started to step up in the last kind of 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, and it really helps when you build that confidence as you get in closer to postseason play. It's a Florida State team that's in play to host a regional.
End of the off speed, it's in the dirt. Slikes throw to second base. Was probably late anyway. It ended up bouncing off of Gator Robinson and into center field. So Beecham advances to second base and is in scoring position with 2 outs.
Yeah, Slike never really got a good form to throw that one from her knees, so it just hops up, and you see the jump there from Beecham. Knew immediately in the dirt she was taking off and didn't think twice about it.
3-2, foul back. So this is the second 3-2 count of the inning, also on Mudge.
Just continuing to work at the plate, and that's, when you extend that bat, you see more pitches, you're familiarizing yourself with the breaks on some of the opposing pitchers, so you can time it a little bit better, and you can see that even in the at-bat from Harding, she was really ripping them, just couldn't time it.
3-2 again to left field. This is in foul ground and out of play. Shields gave it a look. We'll do it again, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
But even that hit, right? It's foul, but it has a lot of pop on it. It's going opposite field, so it's tailing away. I mean, those are the types of hits that have really paid off for Florida State. Timely hitting matters. Empire might have gotten a softball to the face there and just trying to exchange balls there with Hannah Slike, and she's apologetic back there.
See the streak here recently for Florida State. Winners of 15 of 16 coming in. 3-2 again, through the left side, base hit. Beecham around third base, the throw goes to second, and Beecham scores an RBI single, a 2-out, 3-2 RBI single from Isa Torres, and Florida State takes an early 1-0 lead.
Well, again, just extended the at-bat and then sits on the breaking pitch. Just see her watch it break over the plate and then takes it the opposite way. And getting the wave around the whole way was Beecham with her speed. Shields just threw it into second to make sure that on the throw home, Torres wouldn't advance into scoring position.
So that early walk ends up proving costly, as that's the run that comes in eventually. It's Beecham, though, who reached on the fielder's choice. Torres with the first hit of the inning for Florida State. Drives in the run. That is RBI number 34 of the season. And now here is Amaya Ross, the first baseman. Fouls that one off on the ground to third. Ross is at .337 on her junior season in her 44th game. She's played and started them all for Florida State this year, along with Harding and Beecham. Bonchon pitches outside. And it's 2 balls and a strike.
Ross had a great game earlier this year against South Dakota State. Drove in 6 runs, had 2 home runs in that matchup. It's part of a doubleheader. Really felt like she picked up off of that and has really swung a hot bat since.
Dunning with a nice pick and ends the inning. Excellent pick by Dunning to keep American last year. And Reed will face Hannah Slyke to start the bottom of the first with a pitch outside. Slyke, the Eagles catcher's at .361. She started all 41 games this year, 42 now today. 48 hits, most on the team, 12 doubles, a triple, 6 home runs, and 22 runs batted in. Team leader in slugging as well at .602. Swings at a 1-0, pops it up, foul ground for Beecham, and the third baseman is there. So a foul pop and 1 away in the first inning.
Looked like Gyree had to remove the shoulder pad there.
Gyree swings and hits this in foul ground towards right and out of play.
It's really been a career year for Nicole Gyree. New program record in doubles. She's up to 13 now this season, which is a new career high for her. She's seen the ball well, played third base extremely well for Boston College, has grown into that role in her career.
She's at .328, started all of them this year. So Slyke, Gyree, Jackson, and Robinson have started all now 42 games for Boston College this year. Gyree to right field, and it's over the head of Kerr and goes to the wall. Nicole Gyree has double number 15 of the season. Put a runner in scoring position with 1 out.
It was a good adjustment by Janai Kerr. She knew that Gyree was trying to ride that line a little bit late on that fastball, so she makes the adjustment to play the line a little bit better, but just gets spun around there. I think she was too far to the line, so you're going to see her kind of just get turned there and doesn't put the glove up, so gives Gyree an opportunity to extend it from what could have been a single or an out to a double.
Actually would have been an easier play for a right-handed thrower, where once she spun, you kind of are on your correct hand with the glove. Otherwise, had to kind of spin there. Florida State, which will shift its outfield as much as most teams as you'll see in the ACC. Here is Jules Shields, grad student, right fielder. So you see where the center fielder Harp is playing. And this is popped up in foul ground, and that is out of play. And you can see right there where Kerr is, who's basically playing on top of the line, down and right.
Yeah, Harp's in right center, right in that gap, so you have a bigger gap where Mudge is kind of controlling center field and left field. It's kind of like the 8-player Little League baseball rotation or softball rotation. That one player doesn't show up to the game. Got to have the outfielders play right center and left center.
I thought we were starting at 5. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Those travel ball kids, you know, they're playing for 4 teams. They come late.
It always happened to your team, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Fouled off down the right field side. And what is a packed berm and a packed house here at Harrington Athletics Village. Great turnout. A little nip in the air, but still a pretty pleasant spring day here in Brighton.
Anything above 50, people are coming out in shorts and short sleeves.
Right. 2-2 from Reed. Slow chopper, tough play, it goes foul. Smart play by Beecham to let that go. Probably did not have a chance at first base the way it was hit. So Beecham lets it go.
It's a freshman really making a smart decision. Came in charging, knew that she had to make a quick play, but then realizes with the first hop that might take a funky bounce into foul territory. So lets it go, and well, now another opportunity to get out the inning for Florida State.
So 2-2 on Shields. And Reed got her. Good spot. 2 away.
You're just going to see the control from Reed, especially on the landing. Right there, not a lot of body movement, so it keeps the ball straight as it fires into the zone. That's how she's been able to command the zone in her career, and after her freshman year, has really grown this year as well.
One missed outside to McKenna Siegel, who's the DP today for Boston College. A 27 average this year for BC. 6 doubles, 2 homers. Off the end of the bat, foul, and back out of play.
It's a BC team that has a lot of outfielders, and it's loaded there at first base. Siegel's had some really big games. Got Scout in there getting the start today, but Hannah Slight can also play first, so they've got a little bit of a rotation there. Addison Jackson has also seen some time at first base.
That is fouled back to the screen by Siegel. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So Gyrie doubled with 1 out. Eagles trying to get that running and tie the game here in the first inning. One, 2. Missed upstairs.
Well, it's a BC team that's played well at home, 11-3 here this season. Go back to when Amy Cavilhog took over for the program. They have won some big games here at home. Be a big one if they can take a game or 2 against Florida State, put themselves in good position.
2-2 missed high, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So both teams have done a decent job working the pitchers deep in counts in the first inning. Another 3-2 is fouled back.
When you're able to see pitches, it really helps you adjust. And well, so far, after Shields struck out, she worked the count to a 2-2 count. Now Siegel was able to watch some pitches there on the on-deck circle. She's battled here against Reed.
Three, 2 again. And that's popped up foul ground. There is room for Beecham, who had 2 of the 3 outs in that first inning this week. They've won 7 consecutive games and 15 of 16. And Abby Dunning missed outside. Janai Kerr, the right fielder, 346 in her junior season. She started 35 times this year. 36 hits, including 7 doubles, 2 triples, 6 home runs, and 28 runs batted in. Georgia native. Looks at ball 2.
Picked up her 6th home run against Notre Dame in that big sweep for Florida State. Talk about winning those games and just improving their conference record. Building more confidence, especially for the younger players on the roster.
In foul ground, Gyrie going back on it, made the catch. What a great play by Nicole Gyrie.
Just a good read off the bat, and knew that the left fielder, Jules Shields, was also going to have to try to make a play on it, but just tracked it down and then does a good job securing it as it goes into the glove with the bare hands to make sure it doesn't pop out.
Maze-esque?
Yeah, that's a beautiful basket catch there.
It feels blasphemous to even say that, but it's a good play. Minus the 500-foot polo grounds, but, you know, it's a heck of a jump, heck of a play. So Kennedy Harp now. 1 ball and no strikes from Abby Dunning. So we play here 2nd inning, 1-0 lead for the Seminoles. Harp swings off the end of the bat. Quickly 2 up and 2 down here in the 2nd.
Again, the first time through the lineup, and give up a run there on the fielder's choice earlier with a single from Torres, but a good job bouncing back from Abby Dunning. Got Ross to ground out. Now 2 straight outs here in the 2nd. Limits the pitches as well. Not a lot of long counts in those first 2 at-bats.
So Devin Flaherty now, the second baseman, takes high. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Flaherty in her senior season, 284 average in 41 games, 3 doubles and a triple. And that is in for a strike.
Yeah, good movement on this last pitch from Dunning. You see it just kind of land right there above the knees and gets the called strike. And Slikes always kind of pumping her fist back there behind the plate.
Framed it well. 1-1. And that is a strike. Similar spot. Maybe even a touch farther out.
Well, again, it's just about establishing the zone in that first inning, and now you see Dunning going right back to those corners that were called strikes, and she's done a really good job this season in staying dedicated into those spots, especially those corners.
Fouled off in a 1-2.
That's a pitch or two for Dunning. You see that Flaherty's late on it, so why not go back to it? You put a little rotation, a little more spin on it, maybe get the timing better.
So it'll be another 1-2. Again off the end of the bat foul. Flaherty ever dangerous when she gets on base. This tie, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Led the ACC last season, 31 stolen bases on 32 attempts. It's been very good in ACC play for Florida State. 344 average in conference this year. 2-2 to left field, right down the line, and not enough room as Shields gave it a chance, but couldn't quite come up with it.
A good jump for Shields, just didn't get enough speed there to catch up with it. But we've talked about this outfield for Boston College. They have made some spectacular plays this season and helped prevent runs from scoring.
So another 2-2. That is just off the inside corner.
So Dunning thought this one was strike 3. It's right on the inside part. Maybe just too much of a frame there for Slike, just too much movement to pull it up.
3-2, right back to Dunning. And she ends the inning with a nice pick at the mound for the second time in a row.
I mean, competing in the ACC, you know, it's such a tough conference day in and day out every weekend. There's always a tough series. We saw it with Pittsburgh, right? Pittsburgh in a down year, and they came up to Boston and took the series against Boston College, and it shows you there's no days off, and you've got to continue to improve, and this program for Boston College has made those strides in most recent years.
So Jordan Stevens is the junior from Tampa, Florida, who's the right fielder for Boston College today. 2 balls and no strikes from McKenna Reed. So play here, home second inning, and Reed fires in for his strike.
Coming off of a really good weekend. Saw the ball well against Virginia Tech. Trying to keep that going here in a big weekend series against Florida State.
To right field. Long run for Kerr, but she's there. And 1 away in the second inning for Emma Jackson.
Jackson's one of those players that has started the season as in the leadoff role for Boston College, has moved down in the lineup, but still trying to find that way to produce, whether it's the slap hits or getting it over the infield. She has a really good swing that can either be a slap hitter swing, or when she lays back, has a really good power pop.
Shows bunt, takes a strike. Jackson, who's at .243 in her freshman season, 27 hits, including a double and 4 batted in. Also has walked 7 times. Slaps it, foul.
That's what makes her so dangerous, that adjusted swing there. You know, that lands in foul territory. She's definitely going for 2, maybe 3 bases. With how shallow Kaylee Mudge was playing, that one ended up on the wall. So, you know, Jackson tries to utilize her speed as much as she can when she does get on base.
So now an 0-2. And that is, again, just slapped foul. This is kind of the point of the season in the heart of ACC play. Jackson, who got off to a really nice start this year, now trying to kind of get through. You mentioned it earlier. You get a lot of tape on these players. So then there's that readjusting to the adjustment over the course of a long first season. 0-2. That's too high.
Well, especially as a freshman, right? You don't want to get too high. You don't want to get too low. You know teams are going to start seeing exactly what you do. And early on in the season, there was a lot of unknown with Jackson, you know, whether she had speed or power. And teams started to adjust and put themselves in really good position to get her out.
To second for Flaherty. And 2 away in this second inning. I'll bring up Megan Scout.
Now batting for the Eagles, number 20, Meg Scouten.
Scouten making her 23rd appearance of this season, but just her 10th start. 6 for 29 at the plate this year. And takes a strike. Played in 1 game of the series against Virginia Tech, which was just her 2nd appearance since March 22nd.
I think Amy Cavellhog just trying to get more power, more bats in the lineup, especially in the bottom half with Callie Case moving out of the outfield and getting that rotation at first base with Megan Scouten and McKenna Siegel.
Swing and a miss on a 1-1. So 1 ball and 2 strikes on Scouten. Has 2 doubles this season. This was a good off-speed pitch.
Yeah, has really done a great job mixing up her pitches. Goes after them with the fastball. It stays really over the plate, and then just a little off-speed.
Fisted towards short and caught by Isa Torres. Boston. That's why that patch on the side of the sleeves that says mile 21. Boston College's campus is right on the marathon route, right at mile 21 as the runners come down Commonwealth Avenue. So these jerseys have become a staple the last couple of years for baseball and softball, either the weekend before or weekend after Marathon Monday.
Well, runners always talk about just getting over Heartbreak Hill and going through the Boston College campus. You know, those runners that do make it over Heartbreak Hill, they get that cheering section of students and administrators, families coming out from the Newton area. It's one of those highlight routes or miles on the Boston Marathon.
One is on the ground. Foul by Maddie Fry, the catcher. Some runners actually say that as hard as the Heartbreak Hill is, then going downhill after all that, especially it was downwind on Monday.
Good weather on Monday, you know, good cheering section.
Actually, it's too hot for runners,
That's
right?
true, yeah.
It's nice for us watching. 1-2 to Fry is upstairs from Abby Dunning. Maddie Fry's making her 6th start of the year. 27th appearance, though. 4 for 14 at the plate. She scored 6 runs and doubled twice. Sophomore catcher.
You know, they have this midnight ride where you get on a bike and you bike the marathon route the night before. No, you're not a runner, but
is this like a made-up thing like Happy Gilmore where you're telling me to go to the 9th green? And there's a strikeout for Dunning, 1 away in the 3rd.
She's really settled in after that first inning, and again, just picking her corners, gets a nice job there by Hannah Slyke on the frame, and you know, she stayed away. She's staying away from these Florida State hitters, and I think in the first inning, she kind of found some pitches just heavy over the plate.
Gets a lot of strikeouts without the swing. Most backwards Ks in the ACC. And now wraps around to the top of the order for the second time as Kaylee Mudge takes outside. Mudge, who walked her first time. So what happens? What is that the end of it?
So it's the night before. Bikers, you know, from all over, they'll come out, they'll meet in Hopkinton, they'll get on bikes, they'll put some neon lights, some people will dress up in costumes and stuff, and it's a real ride. You can look it up. You're looking at me like I got 10 heads, but yeah.
There's a 50-50 chance this is completely
I would
made
never,
up.
I can't run.
If this is
I'm
real,
not running,
someone tweet it, Lewis and I, and let us know
the
that it's
midnight
real.
ride.
Lewis isn't making this up. 2-0, hit hard and through. So Kaylee Mudge is on base for the second time today. That's just the second hit for Florida State. But a nice piece of hitting and a runner on base with one out in the third.
Well, again, just Mudge. She's been able to see pitches in her at-bats. That first inning walk, she made it a full count. This time, sees a couple and then realizes she's going to go attack, and good adjustment on the swing to find the gap, and already on base twice today.
And now here's Beecham. Grounded into a fielder's choice your first time.
Capping off that point, you're not a runner, so if you're not a runner, you want to get on a bike, it's a little easier, I'd say.
Well, yeah, it's easier. It's easier to drive a car, too, but I don't think that's the point. Here's the 1-0. It's up high. 2 balls and no strikes. So Beecham reached down the fielder's choice on that ground ball to third, stole second, and came around to score the game's only run on Issa Torres' RBI single. Here's the 2-0. Fastball in for a strike.
Well, you talked about, Eric, just phenomenal numbers. These are the team ranks for Beecham on the season. First in batting average, second in RBIs, and in home runs. Her hit total is 21st. She comes in third in the ACC with 59, but 21st in the country in hits. Only a freshman.
The way she's hitting nearly 500, that means every other at-bat she's due.
And especially this last streak, she hit 2 home runs in the series against Alabama State, picked up a home run in the last game against Notre Dame. She's really been on a tear in the last 7 games.
One is in for a strike.
I think that's what makes Dunning such a good pitcher in the ACC. She doesn't back down from a battle. She knows how good Beecham is. She stayed on the outside, now comes attacking on the inside. You can see it here right through the middle of the plate, and good movement as well on that pitch from Dunning.
Ground ball foul. This is another 3-2 count here.
It's like Dunning has more control of her body now in the circle as well. It feels like her landing is much more cleaner than it was in the first inning.
And again, it's fouled off.
Beecham early on those swings. Swing rode it inside on Beecham. Kind of a defensive swing here. Might have gotten her on the inside part of the body if she just let that one throw on a check swing, but ends up making contact with it.
Too far inside.
So you kind of put in some work and you can find yourself in a good position come ACC tournament time.
So a couple of runners on base here with 1 out, and Harding takes strike 1. Flat out to center her first time. Here are the numbers for Harding all time. This is over her career at Florida State. Top 10 player in a bunch of offensive categories. Hit hard and off the glove of Robinson. And all the runners move up, so the bases are loaded for Florida State. It looked like they were thinking about maybe seeing if Mudge could get home there, but they'll leave Mudge at third.
Yeah, I think they wanted to send Mudge, but this one just on the inside part of the hands is going to hit off of the glove. Had a little bit of spin on it, so it dies down before it gets to Robinson. And you can see right there, getting the green light to go, but Mudge was a little more disciplined there and decided to stay at third, especially with one out and a good hitter, Anissa Torres, coming up. You don't want to give BC free outs.
So Issa Torres, who has driven in the only run of the game so far, now bats with the bases loaded. Dunning's pitch is too far out. Torres has been exceptional in these spots this year. Not only 449 with runners in scoring position, but she's hitting 714 with the bases loaded. 1-0 to the backstop, but it bounced back so much that there was no chance to advance.
Yeah, that one comes right back to Hannah Slyke, and she does a good job just playing it quickly, not fumbling it, just in case the runner from third breaks, and Dunning was there at home, but yeah, good job by the netting there to assist Hannah Slyke.
2-0. Up the middle, off the glove of Jackson and into center field. Mudge scores, so does Beecham. And it's 3-0 Florida State.
Yeah, it looks like Jackson was expecting a little more of a hop there on the second one as it bounces to her at second base. Just lifts the glove so it goes under and then just squirts out to center field. So coming all the way from second was Beecham, and then Mudge was breaking easily from third, so could have been a double play ball there for Boston College. It felt like she really found the groove there, but gotta credit the top of this order for Florida State. So patient, they've been able to work the counts, and they're seeing more and more pitches, so they're having Dunning work more and more.
And now it's Ross. To left field, hit hard, but right at Shields. No advancement and 2 outs.
Now batting for the Seminoles, number 4, Janai Kerr.
There is strike one. Kerr, who popped out to third base her first time.
It looked like Dunning shook off Slyke on 2 pitches there. Wanted to go with the off speed and just ended up missing the zone by a little bit. It's one of those hitters you also have to kind of work around with Janai Kerr.
Hit hard to right field, charging and making the play is Jordan Stevens. So behind us. So third turn at bat for Boston College, and Elizabeth Laviolette takes outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Seniors kind of earned this role in the outfield. 226 batting average, 29th start of the year, 14 hits, a double, a triple, a homer, 5 batted in, 14 walks as well. So she's really gotten on base. 424 on base percentage, which is the best mark on the team.
Another one of those players that continues to improve over her time here at Boston College. We talked about those averages. 176 as a sophomore, 107 as a junior. Didn't see a lot of action, but now this year, as you talked about, finding that role, earning it, now starting in center field, becoming the outfielder here for Boston College.
One, two from Reed, hit hard, but a nice pick by Ross. Amaya Ross with a good play at first base for out number 1. That deserves a smile.
It's just a really good scoop. Sometimes you gotta just keep your body low. Don't worry about the glove. The glove is gonna be in the right position, and that's what Ross does. Just let the glove do the work, get yourself in a good position, and easy play there at first base.
First one missed high to Gator Robinson, the shortstop. In her first season here with Boston College, Robinson has started all 42 games at short, 19 hits this year, 3 doubles, a home run, 10 batted in, and 20 walks. She fouls it back to the netting, a ball and a strike.
It's been a little bit of a cold streak here for Robinson, just 1 hit in the last 5 games.
1-1 on the ground. Turning, throwing, not in time. Sometimes you need a little small ball magic like that to get you going, and Gator Robinson is on first base.
Well, just like Florida State, Boston College likes to cause havoc on the base path. So if you get them on base, they'll try to take advantage. And you see just nicely drop bunt. You're going to see the line she takes. She cuts back across, so it forces the throw to come back on the inside. As a catcher or as a first baseman, you're saying inside, inside, or outside, outside. That one comes on the inside, so it gives her enough time to get to first base.
And now Slike. That is caught in center field by Harp. A fast falling liner that Kennedy Harp stays with. And Robinson quickly gets back to first base.
And you can see her make that move again. That's exactly the move that she had. The only way she's making that play is by putting the glove down so that she can secure it. If she flips it the other way, it's very likely that ball is going to pop out or at least fall out. So she does a really good job putting her body in front and making sure she's under that ball so she can make the catch. Smart play out there by Harp.
Maybe dove like a touch earlier than she needed to, but made up for it. And now Nicole Gyrie takes a strike.
You can see just sharing some lessons
yeah,
there with
like
Kerr.
That.
Yeah,
That's how you do it.
See that on the TikTok later, right?
Why is it always on TikTok?
Because that's where everybody puts stuff now, Eric.
I don't think
it's
is.
not X anymore. It's not Facebook. It's
to short and off the glove of Torres into center field. Robinson goes first to third. It was thrown away, but no chance of an advancement with it still on the infield. So Nicole Gyrie has runners on first and third for Boston College here with 2 outs.
Yeah, just takes a funky hop there at short, and then Robinson sees it, gets away. She's going to turn right there at second. You'll see her realize how far away it gets and doesn't give up running, touches the bag and gets to third, and that's going to lead to a conversation in the circle here for Florida State with runners at the corners for the Eagles.
I guess it would make in third. And Shields hits one on the ground foul. Jules Shields struck out her first time up against McKenna Reed. Ashton Danley in her first season. Again, Florida State, it's a combination here of a lot of returners, but also some really, really key freshmen. That's on the ground at third. Beecham, nice pick. And the Seminoles keep the Eagles off 3 times out of the last 5 seasons, including that 2018 title. And Abby Dunning starts outside to Kennedy Harp, who leads off. As we go to this 4th inning, it's a 3-0 lead for Florida State over Boston College in the first of 3 games this weekend between the Eagles and the Seminoles. Kennedy Harp bounced back to the mound her first time. That was upstairs, but she may have gone around on the swing. They say no on the appeal to the first base umpire, John Hibbage.
Had enough on it that it was enticing for Harp to try to go after it, but just lays off. It does a really good job.
Spinning out of the way, but
sometimes the
indeed
momentum.
hold up.
Yeah.
Harp, Flaherty, and Fry to bat here for Florida State. Dunning's pitch is in the air, center field right for Laviolette. So 1 away here in the 4th. And that brings up Devin Flaherty.
Talking about the success of this program for Florida State. No school east of Arizona has been to more NCAA tournaments than Florida State. They've made a regional every year since 2000. They're trying to host a regional this year. I mean, the success that they've been able to have is just phenomenal.
That is inside, and it apparently just missed Flaherty.
She did not want to get hit by that pitch. She just took it inside and woo, little matrix movement there.
Here's the 1-0. Check swing and a pitch outside. No swing on appeal. 2 balls and no strikes. Downstairs, 3-0. That is in for a strike.
Nice job going back to the breaking pitch. Just couldn't find the strike zone on the first 3. This time just lays it in there for Flaherty. And yeah, just staying disciplined, waiting for a strike, sees that one go by.
(3-1). Hit hard to center field and down for a hit. So Devin Flaherty, who continues to hit the ball well in ACC play. A 1-out single ahead of Maddie Fry.
Well, again, just sees more pitches, drives that one right back up the middle. We talked about it. Had a really struggled to the start of the season, especially as a veteran player, wanted to kind of set the example, but has done a good job buckling down here at the end of the year, and especially in conference play, and finding more opportunities to drive in runs, to get on base, and you see it there on a 3-1 count, right back up the middle.
Now Fry squares to bunt and fouls it back.
Well, you know Fry's probably got ice in her veins. Usually when you're bunting, that ball comes in, you pull it back. She just left it out there, didn't move, and still got a piece of it.
Pitch felt like it was kind of rising,
yeah.
right? Kind of that rise ball, make it difficult to bunt. Kyrie guarding against it now. Squares again, gets it down. Dunning's play is to first, she makes it there. Sacrifice goes 1-4. So runner in scoring position, but 2 outs now, but it does bring the top of the order back to the plate for Florida State and Kaylee Mudge.
It will be the 3rd time around now for the order. Mudge has been the one that's really started it off with a walk in the 1st, a single in the 3rd.
And Mudge takes the strike. 3-0 Florida State lead. An important inning here for Abby Dunning to try to stay in contact with this potent Seminoles offense. Here's the 0-1. Missed down and away, so 1 ball and 1 strike.
Love seeing Mudge in the batter's box. Not a lot of movement on the bat. She stays pretty still, times up her step. It's really about just kind of timing her step with the pitchers. And as a hitter, sometimes you see them just do a little too much, and Mudge is as basic as they come, but still has plenty of pop.
To left field. Shields to the warning track and bangs into the wall as she makes the catch. Mudge hit it hard, but the Eagles strand a runner on second base as Shields finds it and keeps it a 3-0 game. Danley, remember, came into the game, got Jules Shields to ground out, and now starting her first clean inning here in the bottom of the 4th. And she throws strike 1 to McKenna Siegel, the designated player.
Yeah, Danley had a really good performance against Notre Dame, pitching 9 total innings, just allowing 2 runs. Talked about it as a freshman, really adding to the circle, and with Allison Royalty coming back from injury, we'll have their three really go-tos in Royalty, Danley, and Reed. Hopefully Reed's all right after leaving the game early here today, but it's a good rotation for Florida State.
2 balls and a strike. 42% of the Seminoles' innings coming into this weekend have come from freshmen. 73% from underclassmen, freshmen or sophomores. That's a good spot on the inner half. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
High expectations for Florida State. They were picked for a third time to finish first in the ACC preseason poll. It's a team that made it to the national championship last year, and those good teams, they don't rebuild, they reload, and they're trying to reload with younger freshmen and sophomores.
Just fouled off. Still 2 balls and 2.
House program, you really got to make the adjustments quickly. We've talked about it. It feels like they have, especially the veteran players. Veteran players felt like it was a little bit of a slow start for Florida State, especially in conference play. But after that series against Duke, it feels like they've turned a corner. They're seeing better pitches. They're hitting the ball much better with more extra base hits in that stretch. And I think those closer games too, they're earning those victories. They're coming back. They're putting teams away.
That is in for strike 3. So Siegel's down.
I just fooled her here. Just got the swing and miss on that just dropper. Siegel is trying to send it back out, but another good pitch from Danley that just has nice movement on it.
So 1 away in this 4th inning ahead of Jordan Stevens. Well, you mentioned it. So Florida State, so that one's up the middle to short for Torres and 2 away. The Seminoles, if you look at the games they lost, a couple of losses early to unranked teams, but then right kind of in the middle of March, right around St. Patrick's Day week, they lost at home to 10th ranked Alabama, and then they lost 2 of 3 to number 4 Duke, and then lost another midweek to number 2 Texas. So of those losses, right, all of them against highly ranked teams. And then since that point is this stretch of 15 of 16 wins for the Seminoles coming in.
And that loss to Louisville. Louisville's a team that's trying to compete for one of those final spots in the NCAA tournament. Their RPI is up in the 50s, or I think last time we checked was 48. So Louisville's a team that also has competed, and they were able to take that series 2-1 and just lost that game by 1 run. So it shows you they've been able to do a lot of good things after that series loss, especially in conference play to Duke. And it's been a tough non-conference schedule. Even some of those non-conference losses earlier this year are to some teams that might be in the tournament at the end of the year.
This is to left field by McDonough, the pinch hitter, and it's caught by Mudge. What a great play by Kaylee Mudge to end a 1-2-3 inning for FSU. Leads off for Florida State here in the top of the 5th inning. 3-0 Seminoles lead. Had 6 total hits in this game, 1 error each way. And that one missed up high. Beecham walked her last time. She also reached on a fielder's choice, scored twice today. Here's the 1-0. And that's in for a strike. You saw earlier in that last inning, they put a Band-Aid on Dunning's thumb. Seems to be okay. Missed outside, 2 balls and a strike.
It's one of those nagging things as a pitcher that you just got to deal with, right? Whether you get a blister or a cut on that throwing hand, you just got to kind of work through it. We've seen Dunning is as tough as any of them.
Fastball ripped, but a foul ball. Obviously, a little bit out in front there, but you can see the bat speed. How quickly She gets bat to ball here. I mean, watch that swing. My goodness.
Got to hit him straight, right? But the great thing about her step and the swing is that she times it so well. The first pitch for Dunning, she was off. You could tell by the step. That last pitch, really good timing.
On the ground is short. Robinson sliding left. And one away in the 5th inning. I mean, all things considered, with a 447 hitter, you take fielder's choice walk and ground out.
Yeah, absolutely. With how
That
much
pitch was way out that she went for.
Yeah, how much damage she's been able to do this season. You'll take those results, and you can see the arm for Gator Robinson, another freshman, on display, this time on the Boston College side.
So now an off-speed pitch for Harding, who's now into the game as the right fielder, remember. And it's 0-1. Harding, who singled in the 3rd inning to load the bases. Off the end of the bat, tough play. Robinson makes it. That's one that, if that hits the ground, you have no idea what that bounce is going to take because there's so much spin on it. So you have to get to this ball before the bounce, and Robinson does.
Yeah, good little hop step there to kind of keep her body planted and then run inward. I think earlier in the game where she had that ball hit off her glove, she was too deep in the hole and took the wrong route. That time, a good read off the bat.
And Torres takes a strike.
That's 3 straight batters now for Dunning. She's gone right after them and got a first pitch strike.
Torres has had the key knocks today. It was a single in the 1st inning. It was an error that she reached on in the 3rd, but a couple of runs came in. And that's on the ground to short. Robinson gets all 3 outs of that 5th inning. Electric eel. Megan Scouten takes down and away from Ashton Danley. 1 ball and no strikes. Thanks so much for joining us. Along with Lou on the air on TikTok, I'm merely the electric eel, apparently, Eric Galanti. And we appreciate you joining us. If you're still out there here on this Friday, just keep it going, right?
Yeah, exactly. You got to win the games that are in front of you, and Florida State, they've been able to do that. And for Boston College, wins this weekend would be a big step. You know, they're trying to chase that 30-win mark and keep themselves in the conversation.
Trying to make the ACC tournament, first time in a few years. They're in position to do that right now. 1-1 missed down, 2 balls and 1 strike. Obviously a tough back-to-back here with Virginia Tech and Florida State. About as difficult as you can get.
That Clemson win was a big one on the road. Dunning, a great performance, bounce-back performance in that game.
Wave and a miss, and a 2-1.
And we alluded to it earlier. You know, you got really good pitching early on from Papillon and Dunning. It's really the offense that hasn't been as consistent as they would like it to be.
2-2. On the ground at 3rd for Beecham. And that is 5 consecutive batters who have not reached base, but if you include the error in that, 7 in a row set down by Florida State pitching.
And Danley coming in didn't prepare to pitch a long game here against Boston College, but comes in the 3rd inning, gets that final out, and it's a 1-2-3 inning in the 4th, and trying to put Boston College down in order here in the 5th.
Laviolette now went around. That was a good off-speed pitch to start.
Nasty movement on that one. Just fooled Laviolette at the plate.
Knew it and still couldn't hold up.
Must be a fun time in the Laviolette household right about now.
A 1 missed upstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike. Elizabeth Stad, Peter Laviolette, who's been a long-time NHL head coach, currently the head coach of the Rangers. About to embark on a playoff series against his former team, the Washington Capitals. 1-1 is inside, and it hit Laviolette. So she is on first base.
They're going to have a
Boston
comeback.
College with 1 out. Or no?
Yeah, I think they're going to come together. I think Laviolette knew it hit her, but none of the umpires saw it.
Let's see. I would say no on that replay.
Yeah, and they're going to send her back.
Yep.
Based off of what we've seen, it should be she's at the plate. Still taking some swings.
And they will indeed say she was not hit by a pitch.
After review of the call field stance.
Two one is a strike on the outside corner, 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Laviolette. And the pitch is there for strike 3. Got the outside corner and 2 away here in the 5th inning.
Well, now the second strikeout here for Danley, and again, just moving the location of this pitch. This time just goes on the outside and attacked Laviolette on the inside. I mean, we saw it with the almost hit by a pitch that didn't exist, but then goes back on the outside and more rotation on that pitch, and now she's starting off Robinson with an inside pitch.
Jada Robinson, who singled her first time. One of 2 Boston College hits in the game. As we play here, 3-0, home 5th inning. And Robinson waves through, 0-2.
Just couldn't catch up to that pitch from Danley.
Too far inside that time.
That was another borderline pitch. Just good location. Had another good break to it. She was really mixing up the fastball with some of these breaking pitches. And
well, there is back-to-back strikeouts, and 3 of them for Dunning. This is a bit of a confidence booster for Dunning and how she's pitched so far today. It's just considering how the last couple of outings have gone. Of the 3 runs, 2 of them count as earned right now because there was a key error in there as well. But you need these kind of bounce-back outings, even at 3-0 the wrong way right now for her.
yeah, I think, you know, in that Pitt series, they did a really good job jumping on those first pitches, jumping on the pitches that Dunning really felt confident in, and hadn't given a home run given up a home run all season, and gave up 4 in that series. And then at Virginia Tech game, that first start, she gives up 3 home runs. So bounced back in that second start against Virginia Tech, didn't give up the extra base hits, only 1 in a double. And even here today, not a lot of extra base hits. It's been singles and kind of just ground balls that have gotten by.
So 2 balls and 1 strike. As the count home on Amaya Ross, the first baseman. The kick and the pitch is a little bit inside. Showed bunt, but it was just too far in, so 3-1. Ross, the first baseman, is 0 for 2 today. And that is swung on and missed. Good spot.
Good velocity behind that pitch as well from Dunning, just going right after Amaya Ross on this one, and then keeps it over the meat of the plate, right at the letters.
Three-two. On the ground at third. Tough hop. Gyrie makes it. 1 down in the 6th inning. And that's 5 in a row set down by Boston College pitching.
We've talked about how good Nicole Gyree has been at third base. This is why. I mean, even on the short hop, does a good job to field it cleanly, gets it over to Scouten on a clean throw with plenty of time to spare.
Number 11, Ashton Danley.
So remember, because of the change when the new pitcher came in, Kerr came out of the game, so Danley took her spot in the lineup when Harding went from the DP to right field. So Danley bats now. She is 6 for 36 at the plate this year. 2 runs scored, a double, and 3 runs batted in. That one missed down, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Always love to see pitchers bat for themselves when they get the opportunity to. It's one of those where you're seeing less and less of it in softball because you got more power hitters and you make way for those hitters. But when a pitcher's able to get in there and help the cause, it's always a good thing to see.
Off-speed pitch, missed high, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Tried to get that change to just land in there, just left it too high.
On the ground, tough pick off the glove of Scouten. Jackson did get to it, but no chance to get an out anywhere. So Danley reaches with 1 out.
It's one maybe Scouten would want to leave for Jackson to try to play, but her momentum was taking her towards second base. And even if she did make the play, it didn't feel like Dunning was going to be able to get to the bag in time to cover. So nicely placed ball there by Danley to get on base.
Here is Kennedy Harp, who takes a strike on the inner half. Kennedy Harp is 0 for 2 today. Florida State has a 3-0 lead, looking for their 8th consecutive win and what would be 16 of 17. 1-1. Hit in the air to left, and a diving play by Shields.
Great job by Shields, reads it, and then just goes and tracks it down. And as that ball is flying, realizes she has to make that diving stop. Tried to get it in quickly because Danley had an aggressive lead there from first base, trying to double her up, but just couldn't get it into the infield in time.
So Devin Flaherty now with a runner on first and 2 outs. And Flaherty takes low. Flaherty singled her last time up, 1 for 2 today. Florida State with 5 hits. And all things considered, we showed you their offensive numbers coming in, right? So well below their season average in runs, well below their season average in hits so far. But pitching is held up, and it's 3-0.
Yeah, I think this is where you go back into the dugout at the half innings and you just talk to your team, try to get them motivated at the plate. You know, Dunning's done her job with this potent offense at the plate. Now you just got to get your offense going if you're Boston College.
2-0 is down, 3 balls and no strikes. Hit hard to center, and it's off the glove of Laviolette. Danley around third base, she will score. Devin Flaherty brings in a run, and it's 4-0 Florida State.
Well, we talked about it here.
And we also have a pinch hitter at the plate here for Florida State. As Otten's first pitch is in for a strike. It is Hallie Waycaser who will pinch hit here for FSU. 38th appearance of the season, hitting .292 with 7 doubles and 6 home runs. A 1 from Otten that missed inside. In the spot of Maddie Fry, the center fielder, or excuse me, the catcher. And the sophomore fires in for a strike, and it's 1-2. Well, Otten, who threw 1 game starting against LIU back really almost the first week of the season and got roughed up, and that's why the ERA is where it is. And then her first outing since then was last weekend against Virginia Tech, where she threw an inning. Here's the 1-2. And that missed high. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Was one of the top pitchers in her class back in 2022 for extra inning softball. Was top 35 and really one of the standout players in Western Pennsylvania.
2-2. Inside it, hitter. So Waycaser is hit by a pitch. First and second now for Florida State. Remember, still 2 outs in the inning for Kaylee Mudge.
This one just gets away from Otten, just rides inside on Waycaser and tried to hold it up, but still gets a piece of her on the inside part. And now the top of the order, which has really been where a lot of the damage has started, especially with Mudge. He's gotten on base twice already here today and scored a run.
Nothing in 1. Mudge has a single, a walk today. That is up the middle, diving stop by Jackson. What a great play by Emma Jackson. 1 today.
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends on which words you start with, right? Or which word you start with.
Yeah, I was arguing that getting it in 2 is actually more impressive than getting it in 1, right? 1 is more of a luck play, and 2 is more skill.
Strategic.
That is grounded foul.
Careful, Greek
1
might
ball
take
and 1
take your
strike.
camera time away.
No, he agreed, right? There's Greek, and how about the legend Bob Duraney, too, in the shot there? Longtime hockey coach in the area. All the stars are out today. Here's the 1-1, and that is down low. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, Duraney's been everywhere, right? He's catching some women's hockey in Lowell. He's been all over the place.
So it's 2 balls and 1 strike now on Slyke. And that one missed away from Danley, who has really come in and just kind of, it's hard to say, I was going to say settled this game down. You know, Reed only allowed 2 hits, but remember when she came in the game, runners on first and third in 2 outs, got the out on Shields in a key spot and has not allowed a hit since coming in. That, in fact, is the first base runner she's allowed. It's Hannah Slyke, who walks to lead off the 6th inning.
Well, yeah, if you talked about it, just coming into this inning, if you're Boston College, you want to be a little more disciplined at the plate. You don't want to give strikes. You don't want to give outs. And during that at-bat, Slyke kind of leading the charge with that, just being more selective on which pitches she is going to swing at and forcing Danley to work. And I think you're going to see the same approach here from Nicole Gyree.
Doubled in the first inning and reached on that error in the 3rd. That's 1 ball and no strikes.
Gyree had a career year last year and is just building off of those numbers here this season.
Fouled off left side. Just very, very solid all year long at third and at the plate. 1-1, up and in. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
See, earlier in the game, those were pitches that BC was swinging at with the break in the dirt, or even those high rise balls. Now here, as they've come around and to see Danley now for, well, it's going to be Gyrie's first time, but when they get to Shields, it'll be a second time.
Just a piece and another 3-2 count. Runner on, no one out, 3 balls, 2 strikes, and fouled off once again.
Again, just good at-bats at the plate here. First by Hannah Slike, and now Nicole Gyrie's been able to foul off a couple of pitches. Trying to get that timing straight at the plate.
On the ground, foul.
I wonder if Boston College will be aggressive here, even on a 3-2 count. Maybe something a little low gets by, you send Slike from first base. 5 for 7 on stolen bases on the year.
To third. Chance for 2. They turn it. Beecham, Flaherty, and Ross. 5, 4, 3, and 2 away here in the 6th.
Just a good release from Beecham at third. Knew she had to get it out quickly with the speed of Gyrie going to first, and Flaherty with a good transition, doesn't bobble. The exchange is well done, and you can tell Gyrie's frustrated there.
So maybe the 2 most important outs with Boston College's 2 best hitters, and now Shields hits one to third. Good inning for Beecham. Seminoles order against Auten, who came into the game in relief of Dunning in that 6th inning. Hit by pitch and got the ground out from Mudge. And that one missed up and away, 1 ball and no strikes. So for the most part, Boston College has done a decent job on Beecham today. Fielder's choice and a ground out, also a walk. Does have 2 runs scored. Upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes.
The damage she's been able to do against opposing teams, you'll take what the line is today against Beecham and try to keep that going throughout the weekend.
That is in for a strike. Boston College understanding Beecham's power, playing deep in the outfield. Popped up, back behind home plate. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I was ready to go out the window for that one.
Please don't.
Got some fans in front. Could probably do a little.
It's a great turnout today. Beautiful day. Two. That's that pitch you're trying to get the swing and miss, but Beecham's just such a good hitter. She's just not going to swing at it.
Yeah, it feels like up and down the Florida State lineup, you're not going to get a lot of swing and misses that way.
Three-two. Hit high and deep to left field and gone. Wow. Beecham unloads on one. for home run number 11. 5-0 Florida State.
Guess only a matter of time, right? You can't keep her quiet for too long, and she gets a really good pitch, hangs over the middle from Otten, and then just drives it. And at the top of the scoreboard out there in left field, you just see it, just line drive. That one got out really quick. And she knew it right away.
Didn't even have to watch it, knew where that one was going. And it looks like we're gonna have a new pitcher come into the game. So Papillon is coming in. We'll tell you about her when we return. 5-0 Florida State leads in the 7th.
Forming in the bullpen. I want Florida State to see all your pitchers now on day number 1.
Well, it's Harding who's at the plate right now, and grounds one foul, so 0-1. Harding is 1 for 3 today, singled in the 3rd inning. Papillon went off speed, missed high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Play here in the top of the 7th. It is 5-0 Florida State, the lead over Boston College in the first of 3 this weekend between the Eagles and the Seminoles. Here's the 1-1. Fouled back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Top foul once again, back behind home plate.
Overall, you think if you're Boston College, 5 runs, you knew this is a really good offensive team. You know, Florida State's left some runners on. You've kept yourself in it. Going to be down at 3 outs and at least a 5-run hole. You got to at least keep it a 5-run hole.
1-2 is hit hard but foul out in front. Again, an off-speed pitch.
Well, you go back to that Virginia Tech series for Boston College. They had a 2-1 lead in the 2nd. They gave up 5 runs in the 5th, 3 runs in the 6th. They were mercy ruled in game 2 in 5 innings. And then in game 3, a 4-1 lead with Jordan Stevens hitting 2 2-run home runs. And they give up 12 runs in the 5th. So it feels like there are games where they're hanging around, they're in it, or they have a lead.
Inside, and it hit Harding. So a hit by pitch.
Yeah, I think that one got in on the hand, so she's going to have to shake that one off. Looked like she turned right into it on the swing.
Yeah, just a fastball that got too far inside, right on the hands.
Yeah, that's one that gets you right under the wrist, too, so you get...
Ball 1 to Issa Torres.
I think this is the type of game that Florida State would love to emulate as the season goes on, and every game is...
On the ground at first, that is a fair ball, or ruled, in fact, foul. It was the home plate umpire made the call. The first base umpire did not, but Micah Guglia, the home plate umpire, signaled foul.
You're going to see it just come on the inside part. It's pretty
tough
close
to tell.
Yeah.
Straight down the line, you figure that was on the wrong side of the line. So that's fouled back. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Just continuing that point, Eric. I mean, you get your freshmen to step up with Torres and Beecham obviously hitting that home run, but also scored 2 runs today. You know, you get really good pitching from Reed, only giving up a couple of hits. Danley comes in relief. If you could put together an all-around game, you got your defense really standing out, making some diving stops in the outfield. Get all 3 phases to play that way. It's going to be a hard team to beat, no matter who the opponent is.
1-2 missed outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Waited on it to the left side for Kyrie. that changeup, that's really kind of the differentiating pitch for Haley Papillon when it's going right. We talked in the offseason, you know, coming into the year, and Amy Cavilhack talked about, you know, when it's there, it's kind of her difference maker. But there are just games where it just wasn't there at times when you watched her on film last year. And for the most part, it has been there this year. They're actually throwing it a little bit harder, and that's allowed it to play a little bit more.
Yeah, last year it felt like the velocity wasn't there. More teams were jumping on those change-ups and sending them for doubles, triples, and home runs. This year she's done a really good job mixing up the pitches, has worked in a screwball along with that rise in fastball.
Upstairs, 1 ball and 1 strike.
A lot of pitchers rely on just their singular good pitch, but Papillon has really been able to mix in a couple of pitches this year, which has helped a lot.
A foul back behind the plate. And it's 1-2 on the pinch hitter, Angeli Bueno. Batting in the spot of Ross.
Can I say she's been muy bueno?
No. But you did.
I did.
To left field and 2 away.
I just knew you were going to shoot it down. I think that's...
Maybe it's me. Seems to be the theme of the day. Ashton Danley now the pitcher, who came in that 3rd inning and ended up coming into the lineup. Singled her last time and takes a strike in the inner half. It's 5-0 Florida State in the lead as we play here 7th inning in Brighton. 0-1 hit hard. 1 hopper underneath the glove of Jackson. Potter around 3rd base. Throw to the plate is just late. So how about Danley, who has 2 hits today, including an RBI double. And Florida State has a 6-0 lead.
Oh, when pitchers help their own cause, it's always such a special sight to see. And you see right here, just drives that one past the extended reach of Jackson. Callie Case was trying to use her speed to cut it off, but good speed at first base from the pinch runner Potter, and she's going the whole way. I mean, Florida State's so aggressive on the base paths. When you get something in the outfield, first to home is usually on the mind of the 3rd base coach, and he sends her along and another run across.
Number 23, Kennedy Hart.
One ball, no strikes.
And that one missed high. Yeah, it's 6-0, by the way. They had it marked incorrect. 6-0 is the score. So that one is grounded foul. Kennedy Harp is 0 for 3 today.
Had that really good defensive play in center field to basket catch it as she came inward.
That is fouled back to the screen. So 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 away. As we play here, 2 runs in this 7th inning for Florida State. In the top of the 7th inning. 2-2 is in
for the weekend series. If you're Florida State.
So Gooden comes in, and Callie Case, who's in the spot of the DP Siegel after the pitching change. And she takes high. There's Callie Case, the junior. 13 for 66 at the plate this year, has a double, a triple, and an RBI. Takes high 2-0. Means the pitcher will be in Laviolette's spot, which is the 8 hole should it get there. This is the 4 hole. Case shows bunt, takes a strike. Two balls and 1 strike. Case Stevens, that is on the ground, is short. And Torres is there for out number 1.
Good job by Torres there, not letting that one gobble her up. She was moving inward as that ball was hit by Case, and it was a great job just fielding it on that quick hop and pulls herself back to make a nice strike throw to first base.
Remember, game 2 of this series is scheduled for a 1 o'clock start time tomorrow. We'll have it for you right here on ACC Network Extra. As Stevens takes high. This is not really a message for tomorrow. It's just kind of a message that is evergreen, but there is some potential precipitation, so stay tuned to social media channels, maybe even the Lewis's TikTok. See which one tells you if there is a time change first. If there is, we will bring the game to you whenever it may be.
If you see me dancing in the rain, well, you know. Not as big as Abby Levy and some of these softball players. You know, I don't have any NIL deals.
It took me a minute to realize where you were going there. 2 balls and 1 strike is the count on Stevens.
I think it's such a great thing for these athletes to get those opportunities wherever it is, however they're doing it, social media or partnerships, volunteering.
Outside, 3 balls and a strike.
Softball, women's basketball are two of the big ones in NIL that are really leading the charge.
That is hit hard but foul by Jordan Stevens, who's 0 for 2 today. 6-0 Florida State leads as we play here, bottom of the 7th inning. Off the end of the bat. Charging is Flaherty, and that is out number 2. So 2 away, and Emma Jackson will return to her spot in the order. Remember, McDonough hit in this spot in the 4th. Jackson grounded out to second, her lone at bat today. That was inside, but it just hit the glove of the catcher Fry. It didn't hit Jackson.
Seen a lot of near misses here today with batters getting out of the way, or we have had a hit batter earlier today. A sold hit batter that Laviolette was called back for.
Wave and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. If the Seminoles can close this out, it would be an 8th consecutive win for the 18th ranked team in the country. On the ground, right back to the mound. And Florida State is a 6-0 winner over Boston College.
Now makes it 16 of their last 17. That lone